Yeah.
When you think about tying this back into Adam and Eve, there was absolutely total trust of God until the thought came, God's withholding from you.
Oh.
You know, he doesn't want you to take of this tree because then you will be like him. Until that moment, there was total trust. And then that's what came in. I don't know if I can trust God. Why would he want to withhold from me? And I think that the communication that existed at that point, Adam or Eve could immediately have gone to God and said, God, is this true? Why didn't they?
Wow.
That's a good question we can ask when we get to heaven. Why didn't you guys just ask?
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then let's put it back on Adam and Eve. Yeah, that's their fault. But how many of us do the exact same thing? Say, we don't ask. Because if we ask, God will say. He will tell us.
That's a good thought.
Thank you.
Maybe what people, okay, I think maybe one of the reasons why we don't, I think there's probably a couple answers why we don't ask. One,
We don't want to know
we don't want to know the answer because we already have the answer we want. Or how many people just believe I'm not going to hear him?
Sure.
I've asked him and I just don't
I
hear his
didn't hear
voice.
anything.
I don't hear nothing.
How about this one? Be careful who you listen to.
Ooh.
Because who did they listen? Who did Adam and Eve listen to?
Well, actually, Eve listened to the serpent, and then Adam listened to Eve.
I'm not going to go there because...
Well, no. but if you think about this, okay, because Eve wasn't, God spoke it to Adam, don't eat of this tree. So then it became Adam's responsibility to convey that to Eve. They'd also believe it became Adam's authority to watch over Eve. So when she came and said, hey, this, he should have said no.
No.
Because, and then like you said, maybe then the both of them, if you don't believe me, Eve, because sometimes our wives don't believe us. Let's both go to God and ask him.
Let's ask. Yeah.
And actually, if both of them would have, when Adam said, Eve, God said we can't, don't you remember me telling you? Eve would have went, yeah. They would have been in agreement. They would have been in unity. Therefore, they would have been in dominion. And then it said, get out of here, Jack.
That's right. They had the authority
Gone.
to do that.
Yeah.
But they didn't exercise it.
No, they didn't. But we do the same thing.
God bless the women.
I'm not saying anything bad about it.
No, I'm not saying you said.
My wife keeps me out of a lot of trouble when I listen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a real gifting. It's a call.
Yeah. But it's yeah, that is an interesting thought to say they could have gone back to God and asked him.
Sure, they could have.
But it's true. But I mean, we do make that. I mean, we make that mistake daily, though.
Yeah.
You know, in everything that we do, you know, God is always there. I mean, He's always there, wanting to hear what we have to say. And sometimes, I think a lot of it is because we want the answer right now, because of where we gain. Can we say it's a microwave society? That we need the response right now. I need to hear it right now. I have to know right now.
But are there reasons for God delaying his answer?
Could be.
Absolutely there are. If God doesn't answer you right away, there's a reason for it. So again, you go back to the trust. You know, when we're waiting on a reply from God, when we're waiting on an answer or direction from God, there's a reason for delay.
Yeah.
Now, it could be on our end that there's
Exactly.
a reason, but it all could be on his end.
But how about, Pastor Bob, maybe you probably have the key to this, because I think a lot of people, we make the mistake in connection with even when we talk about the praying, and some of them make major decisions, right, in what we do, or whatever, whether it's getting married or whatever, in seeking the counsel of God through others, through people who plays an important role in their life. And I think that's a lot of times we make the mistake. We don't seek the counsel of God by people that we've allowed to speak into our lives or to walk as pastors or as men or women of God in our lives. And I think a lot of times that's where we make the mistake, you know, because God speaks through who?
Well, he speaks through people. He speaks through the word.
Yeah.
Right.
He speaks. He just drops things into your heart. You know, but you have to be willing I think you hit on something, Peter. You have to be willing to spend whatever time is necessary to hear. I've discovered that probably the majority of time that people come to me for counsel, they've already made up their mind. They're looking for me to rubber stamp their decision. And if I give them counsel out of God's Word, or things to think back through, most of the time they don't go that way. They've already made up their mind. So there's back to that stubbornness, that stiff-necked, I'm going to do it my way kind of thinking. Usually it ends up in some kind of disaster, and then they come back and say, I should have listened to what you said. You know, and that doesn't mean that I'm the all great counselor or anybody else is.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of times there's just that I'm pointed in one direction. That's the way I'm going to go, and you can come along and bless my mess. But where people really honestly, with an honest heart, are seeking the answers from the Lord, He always gives them. He doesn't withhold that. But it may be delayed.
Yeah.
Why? Because He wants you to pursue. It may be something that He's working with you, and are in an element of trust, or an element of patience. It may be something that a condition in your heart that needs to be resolved first. A point of obedience that needs to happen first, and all those things need to take place before the answer is released that you're waiting for. Now, we've all experienced that.
But don't you think it comes back, even when we're looking to those around us that God's placed in authority over us, pastors, brothers and sisters that you've allowed to come alongside you, that you trust? There comes that word again. Lots of times maybe we don't trust those people.
Like maybe they would give counsel based on their own predisposition,
or motives,
or they'd have
wrong motives about it, and maybe it's because they haven't built a relationship with that person, or they don't. It goes back to not trusting God. Realize that God puts people over your life, so therefore I don't trust that person. Or maybe it goes back to the fact that they trusted somebody along the way and got burned. And so, well, I ain't going there again, man. Look what happened last time I did that. So I think there's all sorts of things that play into that sometimes.
I think so. I think that's accurate.